Hey there, today I'm going to show you how to do sentiment analysis using the Athena SDK in about 100 lines of code. They are also very simple lines of code. Our output is going to be a CSV that looks like this, where it has the company, a sentiment score, a sentiment summary, and then a URL. So that way for any company, you could track recent news events for that company and then essentially understand if it's a positive or a negative event. Walking through a couple examples here. We have this Barclays event where they are laying off some employees in North Jersey. That obviously got a negative score. Nvidia with the stock price or the stock split coming up got a positive score. Standard Chartered is a bank in the UK, I believe, and they have been accused of violating some US financial sanctions, and so those are all scoring negatively. All right, now to create this output, we used the Athena SDK in Athena Notebooks. We'll pop that open. In Athena, you can look in the sidebar and we have notebooks here. It's just a Jupyter notebook with some additional functionality included. Like you can chat with Athena in here and have her write the code for you and then pull that into the notebook. It's a very handy feature. All right, so getting into the code itself, we're going to do a line-by-line walkthrough. First, we're going to start by installing the Athena SDK and the .env library. If you go to the Athena website and then click developers, it'll show you more about our SDK. After that, we are going to initialize the SDK and some environment variables. This is importing the relevant pieces for the Athena SDK, and then we initialize the client here with our API key. After that, we initialize a export CSV. That's where we're going to store the results of the sentiment analysis. Of course, this could be exported any other way that you would need. And then these are the companies that we're going to be doing that analysis on. For the actual meat of the code, what we're going to do is iterate over the companies, and we are going to first use the Athena SDK to search for recent news articles about that company. So this is our search query here, which just says, Barclays News, and then we are going to use the Athena SDK to search. We're going to only return about 5 URLs for now, and then we are using this Google search parameter TBS, which stands for to be searched. And this is just saying that only search for URLs that were posted within the last 3 days. Next, for each of those URLs, we're going to iterate over them. We're going to skip over some that we know we're going to have issues with, and then we will use another Athena SDK call to scrape that URL output. So that's also actually getting the content from that URL. For the actual sentiment analysis, we're going to be using a call to GPT-4. This is our prompt for that. So for the below content, assess whether it's positive or negative, -1, 0, 1, and then provide the output as a scoring and a summary of why that content received that score. We provide that additional instruction there so we can use the structured output here. This structured parse will take the content, it will essentially feed it all to the large language model, GPT-4 in this case, and then it will parse the output into this format. So we can use, we know that we'll get a sentiment score out and a sentiment summary. That way we can format it nicely into our export format then. The rest of the code here is just getting the result and then parsing the result to get that sentiment score and the summary there. And then we format it into just an object so we can append it to that CSV. All right, so let's run it. So first up, we are going to make sure we have everything installed. And looks like that's done installing, so we're all good. And then we're going to initialize the CSV here. So there's nothing on the sidebar, but when we run this, we should have the CSV with the header on the other side. Let's click that again. There we go. So if we open this up, it's just showing the empty headers there. And now we are going to actually run the important part of the code. So it's saying running for Barclays. That's just some log statements. This is the first URL that was returned. We can pop that open. You can see the content of the URL, do a little bit of fact checking here. And we're getting some output saying that it is done scraping. And now we're seeing the result from that parsed, from the structured output call. So we get that sentiment score of -1 and then a summary of why it received that score. And then it's going to move on to the next URL. And we can see in here, if we open up the CSV, it is now updating for each of those. So, if we let it run the whole time, we would end up with the same output. I applied a little bit of extra formatting here in the Excel file. All right, that is how you do sentiment analysis in Athena using the Athena SDK. We have a lot of research use cases that we want to support very well, like this type of sentiment analysis, competitive analysis research, everything in that vein. So if you're working in any space that could use something like this, please let me know. DM me or email me, and I will make sure we can get you access to Athena and get you an API key so you can start doing this yourself. All right, thanks so much. Have a good day. Bye.